When most people think about buying property, their mind immediately jumps to houses, right? Walls, roofs, maybe a picket fence. But what if the real dream isn't about buying someone else's construction, but about starting with a completely blank slate? Today, we're digging into the world of raw land, the incredible freedom it offers, and, just as importantly, the critical homework you have to do to make sure that dream doesn't become a nightmare.
And think about it this way. When you buy a house, you're buying a whole package of someone else's choices, their layout, their repairs, and often their hidden problems. But with raw land, you're buying pure, unadulterated potential. It's just dirt and grass and possibility. Every single decision from the ground up is yours. It's your future. So let's really dive into that big idea. This concept that land represents the ultimate form of freedom. We're not just talking about choosing new kitchen cabinets here. This is about a whole different level of control over your life and your investments. And this is where that freedom really starts to feel real. You control the timeline completely. Want to build your dream home right away? Go for it. Want to just sit on the land, let it appreciate for 10 years and not do a single thing? You can do that too. You can use it for camping trips, for hunting, for stargazing, all without a single landlord or HOA breathing down your neck. No one's going to tell you what color you can paint your mailbox, because there is no mailbox yet. Okay, but this isn't just about campfires and lifestyle. Let's be real. Lands can be an incredibly smart and powerful investment. You know that old saying, buy land, they're not making it anymore? Well, it's cliche for a reason. It's true. The absolute savviest land investors, they're always looking for one thing: the path of growth. Now, this isn't just a vague feeling that a city is getting bigger. No. It's about identifying the specific, predictable direction that development is physically heading and planting your flag right in that path. Well, that's what can make your land's value explode. Right, so path of growth sounds great in theory, but how in the world do you actually find it? How do you turn that fancy term into a real-world strategy that makes you money? Well, here's the best part. It's not guesswork. It's not magic. It's just research. You literally follow the public's money. Every county and municipality publishes their 10-year plans for infrastructure. You can go online and find out exactly where they're planning to build new highways, run new water lines, and build new schools. That's how you figure out where the demand is going to be tomorrow, so you can buy that land today. And let's talk about maintenance for a second. Oh man, anyone who's owned a house knows that sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach when the AC unit dies in July. A new roof, a plumbing leak, it's a constant battle. That's the beauty of owning land. Your maintenance list is basically paying property taxes and maybe clearing some brush once a year. That constant fear of a massive $10,000 surprise is just gone. It's so true. A house can feel like a magnet for liabilities and problems. And yeah, raw land gets rid of all those structural headaches. But, and this is a really important but, your risk doesn't just disappear. It changes shape. You're no longer worried about a leaky pipe in the wall. Now you have to be worried about legal liability if someone wanders onto your property and gets hurt. And hey, while you're holding on to it, that land doesn't have to just be a line item in your budget. It can actually make you money. You can generate real income. A simple agricultural lease to a local farmer could easily cover your property taxes for the year. Or a recreational lease for hunting rights could bring in some serious cash. The point is, your asset can be working for you long before you ever decide to build on it. Okay, I know, I've been painting a pretty rosy picture here. The freedom, the investment, the low-drama ownership, it all sounds fantastic. But all of those benefits are completely, totally worthless if you don't do the homework up front. Seriously, this next part is maybe the most important section of this whole discussion. This isn't just a simple checklist. This is your shield. This is what protects you from making a catastrophic, life-altering financial mistake. I like to call these 5 hurdles the non-negotiable gauntlet. You have to clear every single one of them. Because trust me, if you get even one of these wrong, that beautiful piece of land could become practically useless, or you could be staring down 6-figure costs just to make it buildable. First, and I cannot say this loud enough, access. Never, ever, ever assume that a little dirt track you see on a map means you have legal access. A landlocked property, one with no legally recorded road or easement to it, has almost zero value until you're willing to fight a very long, very expensive legal battle to get access. Check this first. Next up, utilities. And this, my friends, is where dreams can hit a very hard, very expensive financial wall. If there's no public water available, you're going to have to drill a well. That can easily run you $40,000 or more. And that's before you've even started thinking about a septic system. You absolutely have to get local quotes for this stuff before you even think about making an offer. Third, you've got to understand the layers of rules that govern what you can do. There are three big ones you have to check. First is the public zoning from the county, but that's just the start. Then you have private deed restrictions, which can be even more strict. And finally, you've got environmental rules. Finding out half your property is a protected wetland can be a very unpleasant surprise. Number 4, topography. Look, satellite photos and drone shots can be incredibly misleading. They make everything look flat and perfect. You have to put boots on the ground and physically walk the property. A steep ravine or super heavy clay soil that doesn't drain well, those things won't show up in the pretty listing photos, but they will absolutely show up in your bills for excavation and foundation work. And finally, all of this homework, every single check we've talked about, is guided by one simple question. What is your purpose? Why are you buying this land? Are you holding it as a long-term investment where maybe having utilities right now isn't a deal breaker? Or do you want to break ground on a house in 6 months? Knowing your ultimate goal is what tells you where you can compromise and where you absolutely cannot. But once you've navigated that gauntlet, once you've done all that homework, you haven't just bought a piece of dirt. You have earned its potential. You have methodically transformed that blank slate from a massive risk into a real, tangible opportunity. And that is the payoff. That moment when you stand on your property after all the papers are signed and you look out and you have that profound realization. This is all mine. I own this horizon. It's a sense of permanence and accomplishment that is just so hard to find anywhere else in life. It's a real, tangible legacy. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Could it be that the freedom you've been looking for doesn't actually start with 4 walls and a mortgage somebody else designed? Maybe, just maybe, it starts with a quiet piece of ground that you researched, that you earned, and that you can definitively, without a doubt, call your own.